I never take doubt as a lesson. I never second guess it. Take negativity and reject it. I got my mind blind to rejection, so I'll be just fine. Don't be wasting any time with discretion. I run this campaign like I'm running an election. I pop this champagne like we're not in
George, great to see you, man. Always a pleasure.
So good seeing you guys. You know, I'm sorry I'm all bundled up, but I left there.
Well,
it was
it's freezing
like,
outside, like 25
it was like 12
degrees.
degrees upstate, man.
Oh,
so,
man.
So that's why, you know.
Yeah. So first of all, let's talk about obviously the the most important news is you fully recovered from cancer. You've been battling it for a while. I know. I've been kind of following it, and we spoke a couple of years ago, which you were still going through it. But talk to me about that. I mean, how did you beat it, and what did it take for you to actually overcome that?
You know, I'm so glad you asked that, because the cancer, being the cancer was the easy part, because you gotta have the right mentality. Everything in our life start, from here. Like, for some reason, I mean, I'm married to a doctor, and I know how doctors are programmed. Basically, it's all how your body works as physical. You're like a machine, okay? If this is missing, we give you this chemical and this. But in reality, man, we really have to go back to the mind. The mind is the most important thing. If your mind is in the right place, you can actually beat everything, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to the hospital and, I found out like it's stage 3 to 4, like the doctor taught, he's telling me, he's giving me percentage, like, I don't know, 17 or 25% maximum, he said to beat it. It's huge, it's big, it's everywhere. And I'm like, dude, I don't believe in that stuff. I said, first of all, why would you say this, in front of my wife? You know what I mean? Because my wife he goes, but she's a doctor. I said, it doesn't matter. She's still my wife. She's a human. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, and that's why I changed that doctor, believe it or not. I went somewhere else. They kind of understood where I'm coming from. And even those guys, they kind of were looking at me like, like a deer in the headlights. When I told them, I'm going to beat it with the medicine, with your medicine, but of course I'm going to help you guys with the food and nutrition and they're like, yeah, okay, and then it's so funny. The first time I went there, man, to do my chemo, because you got to sit there for like 3 hours, three and a half hours to get the chemo in you and stuff. So they start bringing the food around. They bring me a bologna sandwich, bologna with cheese. I'm like, really? That's what you guys giving your cancer patient? And they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is what caused cancer. You know what I'm saying? All that processed food and stuff. So it's so funny. Like I kept talking to them like this, and the doctor, they didn't really care. And then about 4 months into the things, my wife, she goes, oh my God, they want to meet with us. I hope everything is okay. She was worried. I'm like, honey, how is that going to be okay? What are you worried about? I said, maybe it's good news. I said, look at me, I'm gaining weight. People lose weight on cancer. I said, I'm gaining weight, I'm working out, I feel great, the pain is gone. So obviously some good news. So we went there, and these guys actually, they're offering me a contract, man, to work for them. The lady, she tells me, she said she's been there for 30 some years. She said she have never seen anybody recover that fast. Like in a matter of 4 or 5 months, the cancer was gone. Now, fast forward, what happened, even though the cancer is gone, they suggested that we should go inside and remove it. You see what I'm saying?
What kind of cancer was it?
Well, it was a colorectal, went to colon, a bladder, prostate, and almost the kidney. Yeah, so it was like Crohn. So what and this is what I kept going back and forth. I'm like telling my wife, I'm like, honey, I don't think it's a good idea. I feel great. I'm working out. There's nothing wrong with me, Yeah, but honey, they want to make sure. So, it doesn't come back 15 years later. I'm like, well, what about if they did the surgery and it comes back 15 later anyway? So all the doctors said, they're like, oh no, you got to do it. You got to do it. You know what, man? And I'm telling you, I stand correctly and I say, I wish I never done that surgery, because that's when everything went backward. Remember at the beginning what I told you about your mind? You know what I'm saying? So now I went for the 13-hour surgery. I'm open for 13 hours. So obviously something went wrong. I flattened out. I'm not with them anymore. So I died. They brought me back.
Wow.
I woke up and I'm like, man, there's supposed to be like something quick. What the hell's going on? But I woke up, I'm still intubated. And I'm like handcuffed to the bed. I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, I can't talk, you know, what's going on, you know? And, you know, she goes, honey, just relax. And then, make the story short, man, it just, you know, like, that's when the pain started, you know? Because, you know, like every time they touch you, so now I got all kind of problems. And that's when you guys called me, and I was into 2 years, well over 2 years after this. And, you know, and I was just so upset because I was almost 200 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Before I did the surgery, and I ended up in the hospital in bed, 140 pounds with fever stuff. I'm like, what are we waiting for? Are you guys trying to kill me? But the problem is, like I said, we talked about the mind. So now what they did when I start having all kind of pains and stuff. So of course, the big savior is the opioid. So they start you on Vicodins and Dilaudid and Percocet and this. So now I don't have my mind anymore, man, to control, you know, and to heal. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, the reason why I'm talking about it in depth, because I really want people to understand, man. I want them to understand something, you know what I mean? It's not like the way it used to be before, you know? I'll give you an example, okay? You know, and I'm not talking about the guys in the white coat, not the doctors. The doctors, they really care, man, because my wife is a doctor, and I know how it is. My best friends are all doctors, you know? So, you know, like, we break bread with them. So I know that they want the best for me. It's not them, it's the pharmaceutical company. So what they do, a lot of people don't know that. What they do, they take a medicine, right? And a lot of people, they said, man, that could be dangerous, that medicine. You know, that could be dangerous for human use. You know what they do? Instead of saying, okay, well, we don't want it to be dangerous for the human use, man, let's scrap it. No. You know what they do? They say, okay, how much is gonna make us money, and how much the lawsuits and stuff they're gonna come against us, are we gonna be ahead? If we're ahead, who cares if it's killing people? So tell me these people care about you or me. They don't care about nobody. They care about one thing, monetarily, and how much we can make money. They don't really care. I mean, look at the opioids. And it's been proven, dude. We're talking every little county, they're having about, you know, 50 to 100,000 deaths from opioid. You know what I'm saying? And now finally, after all these years, they're doing something about it. And what they do, after they make all that money, in their mind, they're saying, you know what? I don't care paying $100 million in lawsuit if I'm making $2-3 billion in you know, like 2019, they made on profit $560 billion in the
money
US
to pay
only.
off, right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And finally, you're not even gonna believe what happened about a year or so ago, actually like a year ago. I'm looking at my wife, you know, she's sitting next to me, and I can tell she's feeling bad, like, man, that's not the George, you know what I mean? A couple times I didn't know who I was or where I am.
Because of the opioid?
Yes, I mean, you know, the opioid and you know, plus the infection I have. You know, you have two surgeons. One guy worked on the bladder, the other guy was on the colorectal. So they're kind of like, well, it's not me, it's my part is not causing infection. Well, it's your part. I mean, I'm like, I don't give a crap whose part is it.
And then I'm taking responsibility
you know,
for it, right?
yeah. So this, you know, it's everywhere. Don't think that this is just like in any hospital. I'm talking. We went
Everywhere.
to Sloan Catering, to Cleveland Clinic. I mean, we saw the best. Remember, my wife, she's a medical director. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we seek the best, and luckily we have, you know, the means to get, you know, that. But in reality, this is, dude, what messed me up more and more and more. You know, maybe this surgery, it's to save me, but man, that was the worst thing I ever done. But what really messed me up is it's that opioid and all that. You remember, dude, I'm like the least addict person you'll ever meet. I have no addiction personality whatsoever. But the thing is, I'm in pain. And your wife is a doctor, and she said, honey, you need it. I'm like, honey, I don't know, I feel so weird and stuff. So finally, like I said, about a year or so ago, man, my wife has shown me some pictures. She said, She said, you remember, look how goofy you were looking. And then I'm like, what do you mean? When was I over my sister? She goes, honey, New Year's Eve. I'm like, I was over my sister on New Year's Eve? She goes, yeah. I said, oh my God, honey, I don't remember anything. Nothing. I said, I have no recollection of this moment, you know? I said, honey, I gotta stop that stuff. She says, but honey, you're in so much pain. How are you gonna sleep? I'm like, honey, I don't care. I'm gonna stop it. Well, you can't. You know, you can't. You're taking that much opiate. You can't just, how are you gonna do this? Don't worry, honey. I will tape. I promise you, I will do it the right way. So what happened is I have a scale because I used to be in the diamond business when I was young, so I have a diamond scale. So I'll take it really, like every time you try to stop it, you feel like shocking and you're like, what the hell is going on? You know, like, oh my God, what the hell is this? Why am I taking all that stuff, you know? So what I did, I start opening them, you know, because some of them are capsule, and I take like 1 meg out of it every day, you know, on the diamond scale.
To decrease.
Cut it from 30 to 20, from 20 to 15, from 15 to 10, from 10 to 5, and then to 2, and then finally about 3 months after, boom, you know, I'm clear. Now, you want to hear what's the funny thing? When I stop the opioid, the pain is gone. I don't have pain anymore. And I gained like 30 pounds.
I never take doubt as a lesson. I never second guess it. Take negativity and reject it. I got my mind blind to rejection, so I'll be just fine. Don't be wasting any time with discretion. I run this campaign like I'm running an election. I pop this champagne like we're not in a recession. I feel no damn pain. Ibuprofen is a blessing. Feeling